Himanama, himanama, himanamanana. Smash that like button and hit that hype button during survival, ladies and gentlemen. On the day we arrive to this planet, in the morning to see the sun, but the more that we see and the spreading that do, we spread it, sir, in the circle of life, in the blue sun and moon, in the circle, in the circle of life. Smash that like button. Shout out to everybody coming in our building. Bills are Bible. I'm so happy to see you guys. You know what I'm saying? And it is going down. You know, just came back from a very iconic movie premiere. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Preston Dent. You know what I mean? Shout out to the whole cast. Shout out to everybody, man. The shooters. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that assisted for this great project to take place. Harrisburg, stand up. You know what I'm saying? The movie sold out. You know, two shows back to back. It would have been fucking more. We didn't even have room. It was so damn crowded. Girls are five. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody. Yes, the red carpet was amazing. It was amazing. And then I'm coming back finding out that we are now surviving Steve Harvey's mustache. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't survived your mustache in a long time. Steven! I am not going to sit here and let you backstab Diddy Glover, Steven, without saying the truth about you and Diddy Glover's alleged goddamn relationship, Steven. And you want to throw Diddy Glover under the bus, Steven? Like you did not go on vacation with Diddy Glover with your daughter Lori Harvey, Steven, and she broke Michael B. Jordan's heart. Had that man throwing them slow ass punches in the movie Creed. That's a Bible. She was born in the Hollywood stuff. Lori Harvey, allegedly, Stephen, people said that you supposed to have pimped her out. Now you trying to blame it on Diddy? You know what I mean? When you and Diddy Glover were best friends. Now Steve Harvey finally wants to stand up and try to turn his back on Diddy Glover. Like you never been to the freak off parties, Stephen. We already heard allegedly Diddy had you on one of them freak off tapes. You and your wife, Steven, and now you want to try to turn your back on Diddy Glover and work for the feds, allegedly. Everybody get in the building, man. Tell me, how do y'all feel that Steve Harvey is now talking about Diddy is this bad person and da 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 da. But you went on vacations with Diddy Glover. You spoke all good about Diddy Glover before. You kept your mouth shut this long, Steven. And now you want to finally talk about Diddy Glover. Everybody smash that like button, guys. Shout out to
I'm
Flacco.
trying to raise my son to at least be gentleman. Be a gentleman. Be fair. You know, don't talk to women that way. Treat women with kindness and respect. If you're that guy, you'll survive that area. Most of us do. And then if you're not that,
And if you're that guy, you will survive that area. Stephen, we have been trying to survive your mustache for years during survival. And you talk about pure survival, Stephen? You know what I'm talking about? This is crazy. Now, Steven said that I try to teach my sons not to be like Diddy Glover. But why would you know that your daughter, Lori Harvey, pure survival, was dating Diddy Glover's son? his little freak off twin, King Kong's. Your daughter was dating King Kong's, and then she started to date his dad. She went from King Kong's to Diddy Glover. King Kong's brought her home and said, "Dad, I want you to meet my girlfriend. My girlfriend, her name is Lori Harvey. Dad, look at my girlfriend. Do you like my girlfriend? Isn't she so nice? Yeah, that's my girlfriend. That's Steve Harvey daughter. Yeah, that's my girlfriend. She's so pretty, Dad. I know my dad is gonna love my girlfriend." But instead, Diddy went and stole Lori Harvey from King Combs. But you allegedly was on freak off tapes, and Diddy was holding you hostage, allegedly, and said, "Give me Lori Harvey, Stephen, and I'll get rid of you and Marjorie Harvey's freak off tape." This is allegedly, you know what I'm saying? But Steve Harvey now wants to talk about how he teaches sons to be better than Diddy all of a sudden.
To women that way, treat women with kindness and respect. If you're that guy, you'll survive that area. Most of us do. And then if you're not that guy, you won't survive that area. He's in prison right now because you've been Puffy. You've been watching this. You turn into Puffy. If you don't respect it, you're gonna do some time. You understand?
So Steve Harvey said, if you turn into Puffy, talking about Diddy Glover, if you turn into Puffy, you're going to end up going to jail. Put a one in the chat if y'all think that Steve Harvey and Steve Harvey's mustache was on Epstein Island along with Diddy Glover. Put a two in the chat if y'all don't think that Steve Harvey never participated at the freak-offs. Because now he's talking about Diddy going to jail, but we heard allegedly, sir, the feds was watching you, your mustache, and Lori Harvey, and Marjorie Harvey. The feds put a warrant out for your mustache, Steven.
Some respect. If you're that guy, you'll survive that area. Most of us do. And then if you're not that guy, you won't survive that area. He's in prison right now because you've been Puffy. You've been watching it. You turn into Puffy. If you don't respect it, you're gonna do some time. You understand? And he was old enough to really get it together, but he didn't. Why do you think that with Diddy? That is because you're living a life where there are no boundaries. You get whatever you want whenever you want. You've done everything you possibly have, and there are no boundaries. So you just keep going further and further. Yeah. Is that why you think? Yeah. You have to, like I said, you have to practice acts of kindness.
You have to practice acts of kindness. Do y'all hear what Steve Harvey and Steve Harvey's mustache is saying? Shout out to the lounge, beautiful in the building, pure survival. Do y'all hear, Stephen? You said you gotta practice acts of kindness. When Lori Harvey was passing that kitty cat around the industry, real pure survival, and she broke Michael B. Jordan's heart, Stephen, where was the kindness that Lori Harvey was doing when she was putting that kitty cat juice all on Michael? Broke Michael's heart, Steven. You hung out with Diddy Glover, sir. Put a one in the chat if y'all think Steve Harvey was at the freak offs. Put a two in the chat if y'all don't think his mustache participated in the freak offs. And y'all got to get them likes up, guys. Steve Harvey is going off on Diddy Glover. He's talking about how much of a bad person Diddy is, how Diddy is all of this stuff. Why didn't Steve Harvey say nothing before Diddy got locked up when the feds was coming for Diddy Glover? When Diddy's trial was going on, Steve Harvey's mustache ain't want to say a word. Pure survival. He was so worried that the feds was gonna get him. He ain't have nothing to say about Diddy Glover. Steven! Diddy been in jail for almost 12 years now, Steven. And now you want to try to act like you're the good Samaritan and Diddy the bad Samaritan. You was talking about Diddy was a good businessman and all types of stuff, Steven. And allegedly, you supposed to be testifying to the feds that Diddy forced you, sir, to pimp out Lori's ride, to pimp out her motherfucker kitty cat, Steven. This is crazy, guys. I don't know why Steven is throwing Diddy under the bus now when they were best friends. Because you're living a life where there are no boundaries. You get whatever you want whenever you want. You've done everything you possibly have, and there are no boundaries. So you just keep
going further and further? Yeah. Is that why you think? Yeah, you have to, like I said, you have to practice acts of kindness. You've got to be a gentleman through it all. I'm not saying, look, man, this dude's gonna have more than one chick. Okay, cool, I got that right there. But you don't have to be abusive with it. Yeah.
So a guy's gonna have more than one chick. You hear that? Steve Harvey's mustache said it's okay for a man to have more than one girl, but you can't be abusive. You can't be abusive. But allegedly, Stephen, your daughter, Lori Harvey, had more than one guy. You know what I'm saying? And her attitude and her bouginess, her arrogantness, she was mean too, allegedly. And allegedly, your wife, Stephen, had an affair with your bodyguard. Pure survival. And I'm saying allegedly, Stephen, we have not forgot about the alleged affair between Marjorie Harvey and your bodyguard, Big Boom, Stephen. So if you want to talk about that, we want to hear about that. What happened to Big Boom, Stephen? What did you do with your ex-bodyguard, Steven? You want to talk about, yeah, you don't want to be abusive. But Marjorie Harvey allegedly was having an affair behind your back, Steven. What happened to that? You know what I'm saying? So you should have never tried to come for Diddy when you were best friends with Diddy. You were going on vacations with Diddy. You didn't mind your daughter dating the father of the son that she was dating. Stay back, Pills of Bible. So you doing this for a reason. I don't know why Steve Harvey's mustache is trying to throw Diddy under the bus all of a sudden.
Yeah. Is that why you think? Yeah, you have to, like I said, you have to practice acts of kindness. You've got to be a gentleman through it all. I'm not saying, look, man, this dude's gonna have more than one chick. Okay, cool, I got that right there. But you don't have to be abusive with it. Yeah. Abrasive with it. And like, Puffy was doing all this, but boy, let me tell you something, man. And he was getting away with a lot. But when that video came out, the one in the hotel.
Steve Harvey is bringing up the Cassie video. How old is the Cassie video, ladies and gentlemen? We all know what Diddy did to Cassie in that hotel video was horrible. Steven, why didn't you say this at the time that it would have been important? It is years later now, Steven. Diddy Glover done already had a goddamn what was it, a retrial or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Steve Harvey is bringing up the Diddy's Cassie video, which we already know that was horrible. We already been. Why is he bringing up that now? Like, I'm Steve, this you looking crazy out here, sir. Pure survival. You know what I mean? You look guilty to me. Why didn't you use your name, your stature, your all of that to tell the world at the time when Cassie needed you to say this was horrible, the way Diddy chased me down the hallway with them freak off Christmas socks, stomping me in the lobby, throwing freak off vases at me? Why didn't you say it then, sir? Nobody cares, Steven. We want to know, why are you allegedly testifying against Diddy now? Did the Fed say, Steve, look, we about to lock you up right now, so we want to keep Diddy in jail. So you got to get out there right now and start talking about Diddy and how bad it was with him in that video. But you didn't think about that when you were going out on vacations with that man, with your daughter.
Not saying, look, man, this dude's gonna have more than one chick. Okay, cool, I got that right there. But you don't have to be abusive with it. Yeah. Abrasive with it. And like, Puffy was doing all this, but boy, let me tell you something, man. And he was getting away with a lot. But when that video came out, the one in the hotel room, you mean? That's like you sitting there going, wait a minute, hold on, man. What you doing? I mean, bro, for you to be a public figure, wrap a towel around yourself and run down a public hallway, not knowing who's at that elevator. It could have been other people at the elevator. But you go around there and there's no one at the elevator, and that's your reaction to this girl? Yo, bro. So now that's what we caught on tape.
That's what we caught on tape, Stephen. But what about the tapes that you are allegedly on, sir? Pure survival. You want to talk about the tape with Cassie and Diddy, but what about the freak off tapes that you were allegedly on? Put a one in the chat if y'all think that Steve Harvey's mustache is on a freak off tape. Pure survival. Put a two in the chat if y'all don't think that Steve Harvey was never on any of those freak off tapes. When we heard these rumors, it's like he's all of a sudden throwing Diddy under the bus, acting like he's this great stand-up guy when you allegedly was stealing your whole style from Bernie Mac. Pure survival. You was sitting there hating on Bernie Mac. Steven, rest in peace to Bernie Mac. Pure survival. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of things you've been doing behind the scenes, David. You told comedian Monique to sell her soul for a freak off jelly roll right in front of us. Steven, why didn't you defend Monique when she really needed you? Steven, we've been felt like you sold out, Steven. So we don't give a damn what you say about Diddy Glover. And I'm not defending Diddy Glover, Steven. I just think it's very mysterious that you're all of a sudden talking all crazy about Diddy when y'all were best fucking friends.
Be a gentleman. Be fair. Don't talk to women that way. Treat women with kindness and respect. If you're that guy, you'll survive that area. Most of us do. And then if you're not that guy, you won't survive that area. He's in prison right now because you've been Puffy. You've been watching it. You turn into Puffy. If you don't respect it, you're gonna do some time. You understand? And he was old enough to really get it together, but he didn't. Why do you think that with Diddy? That is because you're living a life where there are no boundaries. You get whatever you want whenever you want. You've done everything you possibly have, and there are no boundaries. So you just keep going further and further. Yeah. Is that why you think? Yeah. You have to, like I said, you have to practice acts of kindness. You've got to be a gentleman through it all. I'm not saying, look, man, this dude's gonna have more than one chick. Okay, cool, I got that right there. But you don't have to be abusive with it and abrasive with it. And Puffy was doing all this, but boy, let me tell you something, man. And he was getting away with a lot. But when that video came out, one in the hotel room, you mean? That's like you shouldn't be going, wait a minute, hold on, man. What you doing? I mean, bro, for you to be a public figure, wrap a towel around yourself and run down a public hallway, not knowing who's at that elevator. It could have been other people at the elevator. But you go around there and there's no one at the elevator, and that's your reaction to this girl? Yo, bro. So now that's what we caught on tape. That's the one that's on tape. That's the one that's out in the public in front of the elevator. My goodness, what's been going on when you ain't in front of the elevator?
Yes, what's been going on when you ain't in front of the elevator? Everybody smash that like button. So Steve Harvey is talking about the videos that Diddy done that wasn't caught on camera. Cat Williams was telling the truth about you, Stephen. Cat Williams been said that you sold your soul and everything else, and you backstabbed Bernie Mac and everything. So we don't want to hear you trying to act like no damn good Samaritan, sir. Smash that like button, guys. Steve Harvey was sleeping with Diddy for over 20 years. But this is where it gets weird. Because not only is his own daughter involved, but he was caught hinting at the entire situation years ago. Steve Harvey allowed Sean Combs to date Lori Harvey, his stepdaughter, in order for freak off footages not to be released. Y'all heard that? They said allegedly Steve Harvey allowed Diddy Glover to date Lori Harvey so he can get rid of freak off tapes that he was allegedly on. Pure survival. Put a one in the chat if y'all think that Steve Harvey was on Diddy's freak off tapes. Put a two in the chat if y'all don't think so. We've been heard these rumors, Stephen. How you think you became that billionaire and everything, all the money that you got, Steve? You think that we don't think you went through those freak off doors? You think that we don't think that you one of them freak off vampires, Steven? that you sleep upside down, buck ass naked, Steven, and you have to have garlic on your neck when you go to the freak off dungeons, all that stuff. So you ain't participating in nothing, Steven. You wasn't involved in none of this stuff. And these rumors been out there. Smash that like button, guys. Everybody.
News just broke that Steve Harvey was sleeping with Diddy for over 20 years, but this is where it gets weird. Because not only is his own daughter involved, but he was caught hinting at the entire situation years ago. Steve Harvey allowed Sean Combs to date Lori Harvey, his stepdaughter, in order for freak off footages not to be released. My hidden talents really can't be discussed on national television because it involved excessive amounts of baby oil.
Wow, did you hear Steve Harvey? He just said that my talents can't be mentioned on national television because it involves a whole lot of baby oil. This is before Diddy got caught with all that baby oil, pure survival. So, what baby oil is Steven talking about here, guys? He's admitting that he had his own supply of baby oil. Steve Harvey had his own supply of baby oil. It takes at least 10 bottles just for that mustache. Steven, listen to him.
My hidden talents really can't be discussed on national television because it involved excessive amounts of baby oil. Steve Harvey's freaky tale might be getting arrested any day from now after major evidence of him at Diddy's freak-off parties leaked on the internet. Word on the street.
Look at you, Steven. You sitting there talking bad about Diddy Glover. And it looks like Diddy, look at this picture right here, guys. It looked like Diddy is looking at Steve Harvey like, ah, I got you on tape, pure survival. If you don't give me Lori Harvey's kitty cat, Steven, pure survival, I'm going to put this tape out here. What you getting your back blown out by Will Smith, pure survival. Look at Diddy Glover. He looks like he got something on Steve. Look how Steve look. He like, oh, if you don't get your hand off me, Steve. Get your hand off of me, Diddy Glover. Oh, please let me and my wife go. Smash that like button, guys. If Steve Harvey looks guilty right here, everybody smash that like button. If it looks like Diddy is saying to him, look, I got you on tape, Steven. You and that mustache been busting it wide open. And if you don't turn over Lori Harvey, Steven, Pills of Bible, I'm going to tell the whole world that you like syrup pulled down your back into the crack of your tasty cakes. Steven! So I'm not listening to you trying to talk bad about Diddy now. Y'all look like the best of friends right there. He looked like the friend that's a bully, and you look like the one friend like, oh, I can't stand when he comes around. He always picking on me. I'm gonna take my basketball and go home. Steve Harvey looked like one of them kids when he was young. He played basketball, but then when you start getting rough with him, he'll take his basketball home. Pills of Bible. Look at him. I'm taking my basketball home. And now you want to talk about Diddy, dude. Man, this is crazy. Everybody get them likes up.
Steve Harvey's freaky tale might be getting arrested any day from now after major evidence of him at Diddy's freak-off parties leaked on the internet. Word on the street is that he even went as far as selling his daughter, Lori Harvey, to Diddy. Cat Williams already tried to warn us about Steve a while ago, but everyone said he was jealous of Steve. It turns out he was one of the only people who actually knew what was going on. Now, when it comes to Cat and Steve, their beef runs way deeper than just Steve's weird obsession with baby oil and freak-offs. Last year, when Cat showed up on Club Shay Shay, he dragged Steve so badly that Steve literally wanted to meet up and fight him in person. Yes, honey. Imagine scrolling through Hollywood Unlocked and seeing Steve and Kat throwing hands. That's how badly Kat got under his skin. But Kat didn't flinch.
And Cat Williams been exposing Steve Harvey for years. Smash that like button if y'all agree with Cat Williams about Steve Harvey. There is no way, sir. Like, I'm sorry, Steve, for you to try to act like you are the innocent person. We already know that Diddy Glover is horrible. Pure survival. We already know that Epstein was extremely horrible. We know all about this. But it would have made more sense if you talked about Diddy when the trial was going on, sir. When the feds ran into his house, you were being very, very quiet. There's a lot of people that was being quiet because they were all connected in my opinion, to the things that Diddy was doing. And now you're talking about Diddy in 2026, pure survival, when the man got locked up. What, like last year, like last motherfucking June or something? And you just saying something. Smash that like button, guys. Cat Williams is in the building.
Same energy. Anyway, during his sit down with Shannon, Kat called Steve a fraud and an industry plant. He said Steve was jealous of Bernie Mac and turned on him while he was alive, then had the nerve to steal Bernie's entire style once he passed to boost his own career. Kat also claimed Steve was swiping Mark Curry's jokes and passing them off as his own.
So everybody smash that like button if y'all think that Steve Harvey was hating on Bernie Mac. Smash that like button if y'all think that Steve Harvey was stealing Mark Curry's jokes, stole his whole style. Do y'all remember hanging with Mr. Cooper? This was Mr. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. You know what I'm saying? And then Harvey came out with the Steve Harvey show, looking and taking this man's whole entire image. Why don't you talk about that, Steven? We don't give a damn about Diddy Glover no more. We still want to know where them tapes is at. You know what I'm saying? Diddy's probably about to get out and put them tapes out with you. That's why Steve Harvey is trying to detach himself from Diddy right now. I think he know the feds is coming for his mustache next. The feds is coming for that mustache, Steven. We know it's some tapes inside that mustache.
Steve has zero talent and spent years lying about not wanting to be a movie star while secretly plotting Bernie's downfall, then jumped into his spot the second Bernie died. Thanks, Steve.
Look, Steve Harvey done stopped Cat Williams' words. Where the hell is his words at? Smash that like button, everybody. I know if my daughter come home with a young boy and then come home with his dad after that, I'm not gonna speak to my daughter for years. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a picture of him and Lori, like the same exact pose, same exact pose that he took with me. Okay. And he did the same with Lori. Arm is on the back of his chair. I think it's more interesting than Steve Harvey's.
Sweetheart,
Yeah.
what's going on?
No, the weather is bad, I guess. That's why.
I know that's why the internet keep coming out. Yeah, they keep letting people come in and pulling them out and da 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 da. I think it's Steve Harvey's mustache that's making the weather change. But look at this. Steve Harvey, you talking bad about Diddy Glover, and he's a bad guy, right? But you are out on vacation, sir, with Diddy Glover, with your daughter, Lori Harvey. So if you are now trying to say that Diddy allegedly forced you to turn her over, you look like you was having a great time on a vacation with Diddy Glover. Built a Bible. Smash that like button and put one in the chat if y'all think that Diddy probably smashed Steve Harvey. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't think that Diddy smashed Steve Harvey. Because you know Diddy, not only does he like the woman, he liked the men too. So if he was blowing Lori Harvey's back out, he probably definitely blew Steve Harvey's back out. You know what I'm talking about? Look at him. He talking bad about Diddy, but he was hanging out with him. It doesn't make no sense, sir. You're doing this for a reason, not the season, Steven.
Okay. And he did the same with Lori. Arm is on the back of his chair. I think it's more interesting than Steve Harvey's there. Somehow, in the Diddy's drama, the narrative has shifted, and all of a sudden, Steve Harvey has become the center of attention. You see, there's long been speculation that the connection between these two runs deep, but no one could expect that Steve would stoop so low as to force his stepdaughter Lori into a messy and traumatizing relationship with the music mogul. You've all seen the photos and the headlines of this summer fling when Diddy and Lori were spotted getting cozy under a watchful eye of Steve Harvey. Now, considering the shocking age difference between them two, it's been discussed that Steve was the one to push Lori into Diddy's open embrace. Have handled this differently. Okay, did it?
See that? They said that allegedly Steve Harvey pushed Lori Harvey into Diddy's arms because Diddy had something on him. Now, everybody, put a one in the chat if y'all think that Steve Harvey. Do y'all see that? Oh my God. Vampires in here. Oh, it's a vampire in Brooklyn. It's a freak off vampire in here. It's 1,600 people. Oh my God. Sweetheart. I'm gonna rescue you. Yes, the lights just went all the way out. I got 1,600 people in here, and it's for vampires in this motherfucker. Guys, smash that like button, guys. I don't know what happened. Steve Harvey's mustache is coming to get me. Wow. See. Wow, 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 wow. The real crazy, guys. Steve, look, put your garlic in the chat, guys. Everybody put your garlic in the chat. I need help. Make sure y'all know right now. I don't know if Steve Harvey's mustache is behind this. Sweetheart, this is not. Look, you keep talking about, this is crazy right now. Oh, that is. Steve Harvey's mustache is coming to get. Need to go and get some garlic. We need to get more garlic. Do you need some candles? Yes, we need the garlic, water guns, everything for the freak off